Welcome to the 12 Report with Blessings Musugu, and these are the headlines. Corruption trial of former Petroleum Minister Diezani Alison-Madueke begins in London. Also, police intercept truckload of suspected explosives in Oyo. And of course, historic winter storm sweeping across US kills at least 10. We have our reporters stationed in different parts of the country and beyond. Afua Hagan joins from London, Aishat Saliu, Idong Joseph and Sumayya Abubakar joins from Abuja, Victor Mbadike and Israel Ifarobo joins from Lagos, while Emmanuel Bagudu joins us from Kano State. We've got the details in a moment. We start off with judicial matters. This week, one of the most high-profile corruption trials involving a former African cabinet minister gets underway in London. Diezani Alison-Madueke, Nigeria's former petroleum minister and once the most powerful woman in the country's energy sector, is facing bribery charges at the Southwark Crown Court. British prosecutors allege she accepted lottery benefits and payments in exchange for awarding lucrative oil contracts while in office, a claim she strongly denies. The case is being watched closely in Nigeria and beyond, seen as a landmark test of global anti-corruption enforcement and whether powerful political figures can still be held accountable years after leaving office. And of course, our senior international correspondent and anchor, Afua Hagan, will be joining us to give us the details of that story as they're currently in court, and News Central will keep you abreast of the situation. Now, the federal government has taken over the prosecution of an alleged fraud case involving senior advocate Mike Ozekhome. The matter, which was earlier stalled, came up in court, but the Attorney General of the Federation, Lateef Fagbemi, requested for more time to review the case. Our correspondent, Idong Joseph, is at the court and brings us more details. And of course, we'll be bringing Idong Joseph to you subsequently to give us more updates on that case as well. But let's go now to politics, where members of the All Progressives Congress in Kano State have arrived at the Kano State Government House for the e-registration of State Governor Abba Yusuf into the party. The governor announced his defection to the APC on Sunday via statement signed by the Director General on Media and Publicity, where he thanked his former party for the support given to him from his inception to power up to the moment of his defection. News Central's Emmanuel Bagudu is on standby and will be bringing us the details of that story as well very shortly. But in the meantime, a major fire outbreak at the weekend gutted an industrial recycling facility at the Amuwo-Dofin Industrial Estate in the Mile 2 area of Lagos State. The inferno destroyed goods and equipment estimated to be worth millions of naira. Firefighters from the Lagos State Fire and Rescue Service battled for hours to contain the fire. Let's take a look at education now. Public primary and secondary school teachers in the Federal Capital Territory have joined the ongoing strike action in solidarity with the Joint Union Action Committee, JUAC. The Nigeria Union of Teachers directed its members to down tools and converge at the National Industrial Court this morning as a legal battle over the strike unfolds. Teachers say the action is about unity, justice, and pressing demands, and they insist can no longer be ignored. All right, now our correspondent Sumayya Abubakar is live at the FCDA office in Abuja, where teachers join the JUAC members in large numbers. Sumayya, what is the situation there right now? We can see the protest is unfolding. What are they demanding?
Good afternoon, blessings. Yes, we are front of the Federal Capital Territory Administration Secretariat right now. And as you can see, I need to move around so you can see now. Even though the crowd has been dispersed, majority of them has reduced because they did come in large numbers. But then this is what the remnants of the premises and activities on the premises looks like. There's a heavy security on this part. There are some of the JUAC members here, and we also had in numbers, the teachers, union of teachers in the FCT all join in this protest. Now they moved from the industrial court earlier, which is same in Area 11, where the hearing started. Well, of course, we saw the FCT administration taking the JUAC members to court, saying that they had to resume work. And then the teachers union yesterday released, something saying that they are, of course, joining in solidarity of this. So we tried to reach out to the members of the teachers union here, but then they insisted that it has to be only the NUT FCT chairman, because we saw the NUT FCT Karishi chairman, but he said it has to be the NUT FCT chairman. But then currently we have the vice president of JUAC here, Mr. Musa Istefanus, who will be talking to us about what happened today from the court to the front of the FCT. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you so much for joining us. Now, walk us through quickly what you feel, first of all, about NUT joining in on this strike.
So we feel very happy because we are family. So whatever might have happened was just a disagreement between the family members. So, but now we are all together. We are fighting for one cause, and we are happy about that.
So we saw the JUAC, NUT, and even other union, NLC, joining in from the industrial court. Walk us through what's happened in the industrial court today.
Yes, the case was introduced today in the court, and then all the two parties submitted their cases, and the case was adjourned to tomorrow, and then the strike continued to that tomorrow, by the grace of God.
So we saw something happening today when this place was blocked, yes. But then we saw the FCT minister drove away from the premises towards the other gate. What is the reaction of JUAC?
When you see a father running away through the back door, you should know there's a problem. Maybe he knows what he has done, and that is why he doesn't even want to see his children. The minister knows what he has done. If he was a good father, he would have he would have used the opportunity of coming out to say, my children, what is the problem? But you saw him running away. I believe he doesn't have anything to say because he has not done anything. So I think that is just it. He's running away because I believe he knows what he has done. Yes.
Now, quickly, lastly, what should we expect from JUAC and other union, considering the ongoing court hearing?
Yes, we're waiting for. We'll be in court tomorrow again to see what the judge will say. But as for now, the strike continues. You can see that we are still here, and we're going to continue with strike. We will be in the court tomorrow. Whatever the courts decide, it will be fine with us.
Thank you so much, Mr. Musa Istefanus. Now, this is, of course, from Mr. Musa Istefanus, the Vice President of JUAC, insisting that the strike would continue, even though the FCTA is pushing, they are also pushing back. And tomorrow, there would be a continuation of that, sitting in industrial court here in Area 11, and then there will be also a march back to the FCT after that hearing. Back to you, blessings.
All right, Sumayya Abubakar there, giving us an update on the teachers' strike that is currently unfolding. Now let's go to the earlier story we told you about the federal government taking over the prosecution of an alleged fraud case involving senior advocate Mike Ozekhome. And of course, News Central's correspondent Idong Joseph is live on ground and has been covering the story and has the details. Idong, can you give us more details on the ongoing case?
What we witnessed here early this morning is the federal government making attempts to take over this case. Formerly, it was the Independent Corrupt Practices and other related offense commissions that earlier had investigated this case involving Mike Ozekhome, senior advocate of Nigeria. And this morning, when the federal government, through the Attorney General of the Federation, announced their presence, they requested to have a review of the case. And this, they said, it was because they want transparency and fairness in handling this matter. And the federal government, the Attorney General of the Federation, who announced his appearance through the Director of Public Prosecution of the Federation, Rotimi Oyedepo, Oyedepo says he wants the court to give them more time to review this case, which get the case file from the ICPC and as well review it, just as I said, to ensure transparency and fairness of the matter today. And that is what we saw today. And the ICPC did not object to it because the federal government said it was going to do this in collaboration to make it very swift, and the ICPC did not object to that motion from the federal government. And of course, we know that the ICPC had earlier today wanted filing a formal allegation in the court regarding this case, which it borders on 3 counts, one of which we saw Mike Ozekhome alleged that he received House 74 at Randall Avenue in the United Kingdom, and also that he allegedly created a Nigerian passport bearing a name Shani Tali, which also the third count also that he allegedly used that same Nigerian passport which is created to substantiate his claim for that property. And that is what was supposed to be heard today in court, but the federal government stepped in and requested that it wants to review this case to ensure transparency and fairness in handling this matter. Blessings.
All right, Idong, before we let you go, now that it has been taken over by the federal government, has the case been suspended or has it been adjourned to a later date?
Well, when the federal government, through the Director of Public Prosecution, Rotimi Oyedepo, raised the motion that the federal government wants to review this case, he requested for more time, and he mentioned that they will need from now till the 24th and 25th of February to be concluded with all of these. And at the end of the day, the court granted the 24th of February for an next adjournment for this case to be heard here in the Federal High Court, the FCT Federal High Courts. And so it has been adjourned till the 24th of February, not suspended.
All right, Idong Joseph there on the fraud allegations that has been taken over now by the federal government, and News Central is live on ground and covering the story as it unfolds. You're live with us on the 12 Report. We go on a short break, and when we come back, we've got more stories. Stay with us. Many thanks for staying with us. Now let's go to politics, where members of the All Progressives Congress in Kano State have arrived at the Kano State Government House for the e-registration of a state governor, Abba Yusuf, into the party. The governor announced his defection to the APC on Sunday via statement signed by Director General on Media and Publicity, where he thanked his former party for the support given to him from his inception to power up to the moment of his defection. Right now, our correspondent, Emmanuel Bagudu, joins us and brings more updates. Emmanuel, if you can hear us, what is the update from the defection story, the APC members arriving the government house, and what has been said so far?
Yes. Thank you very much. So it's all about reactions and counter reactions on the governor's defection. Those supporting the defection are happy, and they're here with the most especially members of the APC, while those who are not supporting expressing their displeasure. But I'm here with quite a number of APC faithful who have arrived at the government house. For the first time, they have been welcomed fully into the government house for this kind of event. And I'm here with Ibrahim Abubakar. Yes, Ibrahim Abubakar, one of the APC secretary here in Kano, who is going to give us the thing.
All right, Emmanuel Bagudu will be rejoining us shortly as soon as we can reestablish connection with him. But in the meantime, we did tell you that a major fire outbreak at the weekend gutted an industrial recycling facility at the Amu ward of the industrial estate in the Maltu area of Lagos State. And we have News Central's correspondent Israel Ifarobo, who has been covering the story and is live on ground to give us an update on what exactly happened and what the situation is now. Israel, good afternoon. Another fire incident in Lagos. What have you been able to confirm so far? All right, while we try to establish connection with Israel as well, let's head quickly to security matters, where the Oyo State Police Command has intercepted a truck carrying suspected explosives in the Saki area. Police spokesperson Olayinka Alayonde said the operation, conducted on Sunday along the Okeogun axis, followed credible intelligence and led to the arrest of a truck driver. The suspected explosives are now in police custody, with a specialized team from the Explosive Ordnance Disposal and Chemical, Biological and Radiological and Nuclear units securing the items for forensic examination. Commissioner of Police Femi Haruna has ordered a thorough investigation. Alayonde reassured the public that the police remain committed to protecting lives and property. Still talking about security, or the lack of it thereof, the Deputy Commander of the United States Africa Command, Lieutenant General John Brennan, says U.S. military airstrike carried out on Christmas Day in northwest Nigeria targeted militants linked to the Islamic State affiliate operating largely in the neighboring Niger. Brennan said the operation aimed to disrupt cross-border extremist networks threatening regional security. He noted the militants exploit porous borders between Nigeria and Niger to carry out attacks and evade authorities.
Well, the targets were areas that all terrorist groups from the Sahel use as a staging area. The most recent information we received from the Nigerians was it was ISIS West Africa, or ISIS Sahel related. We developed those targets in conjunction with the Nigerians at their behest.
And now the Defense Headquarters has pledged the complete and total eradication of banditry and terrorism across the country. The commander of the Defense Headquarters, Operation Fansayama, made this pledge as he received representatives of the Defense Media Operation on an operational tour of the Northwest military operations in Sokoto State, where he assured those present that troops on ground are effectively on the trail of notorious bandit leaders to bring an end to the operations. He urged the media to support the troops, help end the spread of the fake news, which glorifies the criminal activities of bandits and terrorists. And our correspondent Victor Ajayi compiled this report.
The team traversed dusty, difficult and sandy terrain of the Northwest to the Joint Task Force headquarters of Operation Fansayama. Moving through unmotorable roads, the effort of the Joint Task Force to dominate the area was clearly visible. Upon arrival at the Joint Task Force headquarters, the team was received by the theater commander of the operation, Major General Bello Idris. General Idris informed the team from the defense headquarters that troops attached to the operation remained undeterred in their quest to achieve their objectives.
Our purpose and our mission here is not for us to suppress or reduce the activities of terrorists in the northwestern region. Our purpose and mission here is the complete eradication of terrorism in the northwestern region and the country at large. It is our job, it is our duty. We have taken the oath for it, and we shall stand by it to the end.
The team from the defense headquarters, led by Commander Godwin Egbunu, a staff officer at the Defense Media Operations, representing the Chief of Defense Staff, says that the military is working round the clock to ensure the unity of the country.
We are particularly concerned about the country being one the country maintain its sovereignty and that everybody goes about his daily activities without fear or of intimidation. We want to say that security is everyone's business and everybody must do his part to see that the country moves forward.
The theater commander urged the media to help end fake news and the dissemination of misinformation, saying that their toll weighs heavily on the country.
False narratives are dangerous to national security. False narratives are vehicles of chaos, vehicles of confusion, and Nigeria in its current state does not need such narratives.
Thank you very much.
And now we head back to the inferno in Lagos, Nigeria. News Central's Israel Iferobo joins us from Amuwo-Odofin Industrial Estate with the latest update. Israel, if you can hear us, what is the update? What have you been able to confirm so far regarding the latest inferno in Lagos?
To you yesterday, Saturday night, this happened. If you can take a look just right behind me, that is where the inferno that was seen in most parts of Lagos. This is where it happened. This is along the Lagos-Badagry Expressway, just before Mile 2 and in between Alaba Station, and that's where this particular warehouse that was gutted by fire is located. From our findings so far, since we got underground, we understand that it was a warehouse that got involved in this inferno. Apparently, there were some sort of chemicals that were stored in the warehouse that resulted in the huge blaze that we saw on Saturday night. Now, men of the Lagos Fire and Rescue Service were underground later that night on Saturday to try to contain the fire, although from those that we spoke to on the ground here, they were of the opinion that the response time for the Lagos Fire and Rescue Service was a bit something that was not desired, that the fire went on for hours before they got here. That is what those on the ground told us. But according to the statement put out there by the Lagos State Fire and Rescue Service, they received the district court about past 8 at night, and they got here as fast as they can, although there were a bit of some traffic disruptions here and there. But the blaze that resulted from that fire is indeed something that should be talked about. The chemicals that were stored in here, what exactly were they about, and what ignited the fire into such a huge blaze? And it also went ahead to affect this particular building that you see here. This is the building that houses some other companies here selling towels, sanitary wares as well. And one major thing that also happened here that night into the early hours of Sunday was the fact that miscreants and hoodlums seized the opportunity to loot these offices here. You can see that there's also the FIRS office right there as well. These people that you see here out here today, if my cameraman can just hear me now and show the people that are just out here seated, you know, they are people from this company and those from the main warehouse where this inferno started from. They are all out here today. They've refused to speak to the press. They are all gathered and speaking in hushed tones, giving out little or no information at all to people of the press. A while back, the chairman of this local government was here as well. He even had a hard time to go into the warehouse. He was later allowed to go in there. That's to tell you the amount of secrecy, so to speak, that has shrouded this inferno. So he went in there a while back and he just left here about 5 minutes ago. But we'll try to keep an eye on this story to see how it unfolds. Indeed, another blaze here in Lagos State, another sad story for people whose livelihoods have been affected. Blessings.
All right, Israel Iferobo there from the Amuwo-Odofin area of Lagos, where there was yet another inferno in the state. You're still live with us on the 12 Report. We go on a short break. When we come back, we've got more stories. Do stay with us. Many thanks for staying with us. Now, just a quick reminder that this week, one of the most high-profile corruption trials involving a former African cabinet minister gets underway in Lagos. And we have a News Central's international correspondent and anchor, Afua Hagan, who is on standby and has been covering this development. Afua Hagan, what is the update from the court?
I'm outside the court in London, not Lagos, for the trial of Alison-Madueke. The trial was due to start at 10 a.m. this morning, but there have been some delays in court due to some issues with Wi-Fi. But initially what we heard was from the 8 cases on the side of the prosecution, that's members of the King's Council, making sure that everybody on their side has the bundles with all the information about the jury, as well as all the information about the separate defendants within this trial, as well as Diezani Alison-Madueke, and making sure that they have everything in place for the trial to get started. Like we said, because of those issues with the Wi-Fi, court is risen at the moment, but it does seem like a heavy side on the prosecution. Like I said, 8 cases we counted in total. Of course, Alison-Madueke was present in court before she actually left when the judge rose the court because of those details. But there with her team, the defendants as well. We can expect some other defendants to be joining her throughout the course of this trial, which is set to take place here in Southwark Crown Court behind me for the next 10 to 12 weeks.
Is there a particular reason why this is not happening in Lagos? And what are the possible sentences if she's found guilty?
The trial is taking place in London at Southwark Crown Court because Alison-Madueke lived in Britain for several years. Authorities say that parts of the alleged bribery and corruption that took place actually passed through the UK. That's through British intermediaries, financial systems, banks, and assets. So that actually gives the British prosecutors legal jurisdiction over this case. So that's why it's taking place in the United Kingdom. You asked me about possible sentences that Diezani Alison-Madueke could face. Well, it could be quite a hefty prison sentence. She could face up to a decade in prison or more. That's depending on how the charges are proven and how serious they are deemed to be by the prosecution.
Before we let you go, Afua, how long is the trial expected to last, and what are the key moments to watch?
Yes, we are in for the long haul. This is going to be a marathon, not a sprint. This trial is set to last for the next 10 to 12 weeks. So, taking us into the spring, key moments to watch. The prosecution's witness testimony, especially any insiders, any intermediaries. We heard about 2 possible other defendants who could be on trial. We heard about them earlier this morning in court where the cases were talking about them. So those, their testimony could be key moments in this trial. Any financial evidence and paper trail, the receipts as it were, when those are exposed in court, that will certainly be a big moment. Her defense case, what her defense are going to set out, the reasons why perhaps she received money, high-class travel, hotel stays, what were the reasons behind that, and ultimately the jury's verdict, which of course is going to come at the end of this 10 to 12-week trial, what they ultimately decide the fate should be for Diezani Alison-Madueke.
All right, News Central's senior international correspondent and anchor on ground covering this development. Thank you, Afua Hagan. Now, the coalition of northern groups has urged Nigerian students to embrace responsible leadership and reject drug abuse, thuggery, hate speech, and other divisive acts, warning that such vices threaten national stability. The call was made at a public lecture held at the Sadatu Rimi College of Education in Kano. And News Central's Emmanuel Bagudu reports.
Kano State, home to northern Nigeria's largest youth population, continues to grapple with violent crimes, including thuggery, armed robbery, and petty theft. Offenses authorities say are largely driven by young people. The coalition of northern groups believes the trend can be reversed through sustained sensitization, particularly with academic institutions.
A national assignment whereby we will contribute our quotas to ensure that we have reshaping, or we have sharpened the thinking and the minds of our younger ones. We are here today in this College of Education to inform students on the dangers and consequences of the drug abuse, dangers and consequences and menace of hate speeches, dangers and the effect of disunity among the students and among even the populace that are living in this country. Because we are solemnly believe that campuses are not only meant for learning, but they are meant for grooming the policymakers, judges, security operatives, and all other leaders that will govern the region and govern the country at large.
At the lecture themed Building Responsible Student Leadership, Combating Drug Abuse, Thuggery, Hate Speech, and Campus Disunity, the coalition brought together key stakeholders to engage students on leadership and moral responsibility. Speakers warned against politics rooted in ethnicity and religion, urging students to prioritize competence, integrity, and service.
Here now, we know students are from the integral parts of the youth. And when students are informed, when they are knowledgeable about the consequences, about the effect of these substances, of course, they will shun away drug abuse. And when this happens, we will have a society very well productive.
Students at the event say the message is timely and necessary.
Take them always by your side and let them learn a good thing from you. Let them know something you have did that this thing is a good thing. Or we Hausa, we say if you want to know who are you, first show or check your friends. So if you are a good man, and if you take that, if you invite that friend, that your friend that he's into drugs by your side. So one day, one time, inshallah, he will change.
Participants from other tertiary institutions pledged to take the message beyond the campus, hoping it will inspire behavioral change across the state. In Kano for News Central, Emmanuel Bagudu.
And now to business. About 490 smallholder farmers in Bauchi State have received 5.5 million naira in cash grants and 108 goats through a joint empowerment program involving the Bauchi State government, the SDGs office, and AUDA NEPAD. The initiative seeks to promote self-reliance, improve livelihoods, and strengthen food security. Director General of the SDGs office, Lydia Shehu Gar, said the program supports economic resilience and inclusive prosperity. She added that the office has implemented training, agricultural input distribution, and other livelihood schemes. Local government chairman praised the intervention, while beneficiaries pledged to deploy the support responsible to expand production, raise incomes, and sustain their communities nationwide. Nigeria's federal government has introduced measures to curb double taxation, expand the tax net, and strengthen compliance under the new tax laws. The Nigeria Revenue Service, NIRS, provides clarifications on key provisions, including relief for foreign-sourced income and taxation of digital services. Nigerian residents can claim relief on income taxed abroad, subject to Nigerian tax rates. Collective investment schemes are treated as companies for tax proposed. Companies can deduct up to 5% of turnover for research and development expenses. Non-resident digital service providers with significant economic presence in Nigeria are liable to income tax and value-added tax. Still talking business, power distribution companies, DISCOs, have expressed doubt over the federal government's directive to provide free prepaid meters to customers. The Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu, announced the plan, warning against demands for payment. However, DISCO operators say the government hasn't considered the cost implications and someone must pay for the meters. They suggest the government is making a populist statement without consulting stakeholders. The move may jeopardize the meter asset providers scheme, and customers are getting agitated. DISCOs urge the government to consider cost recovery and clarify the plan's details. Now, the yen surged to 154.23 per dollar, and gold topped $5,000 an ounce on fears of joint U.S.-Japan intervention to curb the currency's slide. The dollar weakened, boosting other currencies. Japan's Nikkei dropped 1.75% as traders await the Federal Reserve's policy meeting. Gold jumped 1.8% to $5,074, up 17% in January, while silver rose 4.6% to $107.67. Iran's sanctions and Trump administration actions are driving market anxiety, keeping oil prices high. Top Japanese authorities signal readiness for intervention, supporting the yen. Still to come, historic winter storm sweeping across the U.S. kills at least 10. The details after the break. Unemployed youths are protesting outside the African National Congress headquarters in Luthuli House in Johannesburg over South Africa's soaring unemployment rate. The demonstrators are submitting their CVs as a form of protest, accusing the government of failing to create enough job opportunities. South Africa's unemployment rate has now climbed above 30%, one of the highest globally. News Central's Bongani Siziba is following the story, and we cross over to her now.
Yes, a very good afternoon to you and the ANC viewers at home. I'm here outside the ANC headquarters, Luthuli House in Johannesburg. It's currently around 1 p.m. and surprisingly few people are here for the protest scheduled to take place today. However, the planned protest is against the high unemployment rate in South Africa, a demonstration of frustrations over government's failures to create enough jobs. Let me just give you a little bit of background. This protest was sparked by remarks made by the ANC national chairperson, that is Gwede Mantashe. He reportedly said that many youths are not proactive when applying for jobs and that they expect the government to provide for everything. But just to get a little perspective on this, let me just bring in one of the organizers just to speak to us about this. Good afternoon and thank you for joining us here. Why are you here today?
Thank you for having me on your show today. So basically we are here to raise our concerns as young people basically. The unemployment rate in South Africa is very, very high, whereby we have like plus minus 9.2 million young people who are unemployed. So it should be becomes a concern to say that how best can our government basically and also the government of national unity to come up with skills development that we need as the youth in particular, and also financial distress, because of we have businesses but we cannot finance well our businesses. We don't spend money the way it should be. We also demand that our government goes all out in terms of making sure that the number of unemployment youth in South Africa drops highly, because of being unemployed. It comes out with lots of mental issues basically.
And the remarks by Mr. Gwede Mantashe that the youth of South Africa wait for the government to do everything for them. Your response to that as a youth who is unemployed?
That's basically totally wrong. We cannot have a person who's a public figure basically to say that young people are not doing anything basically, and also we cannot have a minister who's not in his office employing young people. So today we want to demonstrate that as our government must make sure that they employ us as young people. We have the skills, we are equipped basically, and we are ready for any workforce. Because if you can check the high rates of the matriculant who have passed recently, we also they are going to be fall in this unemployment crisis that we are facing as a country. And another thing that we are fighting for, we are advocating that our government should put us in a workplace, because of they cannot put us in 6 months programs. Then at the end of the day, I'll sit at home with my kid and cannot go out and express myself in the workforce.
Date, what are your grievances as well?
I'm here as FOSA. We are here to support the youth regarding the issue that Gwede Mantashe has said that the youth of South Africa doesn't want to work. So that's all that we are here for.
Okay, so those are some of the sentiments from the youths. Few youths that have gathered here are saying that they are here just to protest against what the minister said about the unemployment rate and also his remarks. But in South Africa, many of the youths graduates have been struggling to find employment, especially when you look at the high rate now exceeding over 30%, one of the highest in the world. And this protest today is meant to be a call for action, a way to voice their frustrations. So they are meant to be dropping their CVs here as a form of direct appeal. So we'll keep monitoring the situation and bring you updates as they come.
Now let's go even wider outside Africa. A historic winter storm sweeping across the United States has killed at least 10 people, prompting states of emergency, widespread power outages, and severe travel disruptions as freezing conditions persist. Officials warn that dangerous Arctic cold is expected to linger for several days. New York reported 5 deaths linked to the freeze, while Texas confirmed 3 fatalities, including a teenager who died in a sledding accident. Louisiana recorded 2 deaths from hypothermia. More than 840,000 customers remain without electricity, largely across southern state. Thousands of flights were cancelled at major airports on Sunday. Protests have continued in Minneapolis and several other U.S. cities following the fatal shooting of 37-year-old intensive care nurse Alex Pretty by federal immigration agents. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz says the country is at an inflection point and has renewed calls on President Donald Trump to remove immigration and customs enforcement agents from the city. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem says Pretty was shot after allegedly brandishing a gun, a claim disputed by local authorities who say the weapon was legally registered and had already been secured. Trump says he may eventually withdraw ICE agents, but has offered no timeline as vigils and demonstrations continue. And before we move on, there's one warning we cannot scroll past. You see, Nigeria is staring down a hunger crisis, and this one is not hypothetical. The UN is flagging that tens of millions of Nigerians could face severe food insecurity this year, 2026. Translation, not just that food is expensive or that things are hard. This is real hunger, the kind that breaks families, that fuels anger, and that destabilizes societies. Now, let's be clear. Hunger is not only a humanitarian issue. It's an economic issue, a security issue, a political issue. You see, hungry people do not innovate. They do not wait patiently. They do not buy into long-term policy promises. Hunger shrinks hope. And when hope collapses, everything else starts to crack. This warning is coming at a time when food prices remain volatile, aid funding is shrinking, and conflict continues to disrupt family communities. Now, add climate shocks, displacement, weak social safety nets, and what you get is a perfect storm. No drama, there's just the risk of not just hunger, but a declining economy. Now, here's the uncomfortable truth. Hunger does not arrive with sirens. It creeps in quietly, like it's doing now. One skipped meal becomes 2, 2 becomes 3, children drop out of school, families sell off what they own, desperation becomes normal. And by the time this erupts, the damage is already done. Now, we have been warned by the UN. What are we going to do about it? That's your postscript. Now, before we go, let's take a look at what's happening in the sporting world. There's a fresh twist in the AFCON final saga. CAF is understood to have taken a step back in the hearing, and Onyechi Obaro is on standby to give us more updates. Onyechi, are you ready for us?
Since the Confederation of African Football and its members, they are under pressure, severe pressure this time around, to come up with a candid solution to all that happened in the final of the AFCON 2025. That match between Morocco and Senegal. But we await their verdicts. They've put Tuesday to be the day they give their verdict concerning that match. But we'll tell you more at 1 p.m. on In the Game.
All right. In the games for more of that. And that's all on the 12 report today. Do also send your eyewitness report to the WhatsApp number on the screen because we want to see what you see. Also, do also follow us on social media. We are at News Central TV. You can watch News Central live on DSTV channel 422, GoTV Channel 23, Star Times 274, Avo TV, and live on YouTube. Many thanks for watching. I'm Blessings Masuku.